voices I'll be hearing. Please feel well to acknowledge once I ask a question. Thank you. All right. Okay. So, are we good to go now? Hello. Are we good to go now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're here with you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I sincerely apologize for the delay. Nigeria happened. We are dealing with network, and thank you to the organizers of this cohort training for selecting me as one of the facilitators for this cohort training. And also thank you to you, the participants, for joining and also being patient with me. So we're looking at my name is Favor Christiana Obuagu Steven. I think from the social media posts that have been made advertising, publicizing this training, you must have heard few things about me. So I think I don't need to waste my time on me. What I need to waste my time now, it's why we are here. So why are we here? We're here to get what we need to know that is needful in writing for Web3, whether being it articles, whether being it Twitter, whether being it threads or research. So before then, these are the things I will discuss just in the little space of time that I have left. We're looking at introduction, foundation, understanding Web3, writing Web3 articles, creating effective Twitter thread, conducting writing research in Web3, and conclusion. So why we on this? Please, I want to ask a question, a quick one. How many of you have ever read a Web3 article or Twitter thread? Please, how many of you? Like, Michael, you can just take note of the hands that are raised and just speak on behalf of the numbers. Just let me know.
Okay. I think Michael, you can unmute your mic.
About the Actionable. Usually can
Hello, I can't hear the person
Michael,
speaking.
please, we can't hear you clearly.
I think I've written a
I
piece
wanted to know
on
the number of hands
understanding.
raised, indicating that they have read the Web3 article before in the past, before today or now, or have read a Twitter thread regarding Web3.
Yeah. For now, I think two hands or thereabout. Two
So
hands
how
are
many
being
people do we have
raised.
on this call in total? That we have just two hands. Hello, please. Am I still in this meeting? Let me be sure the network has not kicked me out. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you
We have
well.
an average of
So I wanted to know the
27.
number of participants on this call.
Average of 27 to 30 people.
Okay, so we just have only two persons that actually have read about Web3 article. Okay, great. Great. But great and somehow not great in the sense that we actually need to explore more. Aside from this class, we have more work to do to explore how we can become one of the writers that makes Web3 concepts very, very clear, engaging, and impactful, whether you're writing articles or you're giving short Twitter thread or research. So Web3, writing for Web3 requires a blend of technical understanding, as you can see on your screen. It also involves storytelling, adaptability to rapidly evolve trends, and your focus its articles, Twitter thread, or research as the aim of these classes. The goal is for you to communicate complex ideas into a clear, engaging, and accessible manner. I remember when I started writing, Dami, that's the co-founder of Mirror, we always tell me that please rework on this, ensure that it's easy to understand, just the way you can assimilate when you see something that you don't understand. And that is the expectation for you people now that are actually enrolling in this class. To effectively write on Web3, first, you need a solid grasp of the basics. And what are the basics in this thing? Sorry, let me go back to my screen. What are the basics? You need to understand what is blockchain. I believe we all know what is blockchain. To some percentage, let's say 70 of us that are here should know what is blockchain when it at very high level of knowing what's blockchain. We also need to understand what are smart contracts. We also need to understand what are decentralized finance, that's DeFi, NFTs, and DAOs. For example, when you're explaining NFTs, instead of saying non-fungible tokens, you try things like NFTs are digital collectibles, unique items you can own and trade online, like you on the history of the web from web 1 to web 2 to web, and me currently taking on web 3. I don't know if that was done, so that was why I didn't go down to the history of how web 3 came about. But if you really want to understand how web 3 came about, and you feel maybe you've read other articles in the past and you've not had what they call full clear human understanding, our advice, please go to the Medium page. I think Greats can do well to drop the Medium page of the Miro in the chat box, where you see articles that have been written starting from how the web evolution took place and why it took place, and giving you clear examples of each of these web dimensions. So staying updated, because web 3 is moving fast, and of course you need to follow updates, news, community discussions on Twitter, Discord, specialized publications, and the Mirror is doing something so marvelously on this. The Mirror writes every 5 times every week. They give you something new happening in the Web3 space. They publish article on the Medium, the Medium page. They also engage, keep participants or communities engaged in the Telegram group, and whatever you see online and you feel like, oh, I don't understand this, because as a writer you need to also learn how to learn. I don't know if that statement makes it clear to you. You need to learn how to learn. That is, you need to have agility in learning, in terms of you're able to learn. Because if you say you're a writer, you must be receptive to learning. You must know how to ask questions. You must know how to like crack your head in terms of, okay, why is this, why is that, so that in a way that when you're in a position to explain to people in a writing format or in a speaking engagement, you can actually use a relatable example that you actually learned with when you had not when you had just the basics of what you were learning at that moment, to someone that don't have any knowledge prior to when you communicated to them. Writing, sorry, the third one is choosing your niche. That's knowing where you want to specialize, which is, we have Web3 spanner course I mentioned earlier, NFT, DeFi, DAOs, and plenty more. So you need to pick, am I specializing in DeFi? Am I specializing in NFT? Am I specializing in DAO? Lest I forget, when writing articles, you need to know four things. First is knowing your audience and research thoroughly. Second is simplifying complex concept. I think I said that earlier. The goal of writing in Web3 is to bring complex ideas into simple, clear, and understandable words that anyone can understand and comprehend. Then, thirdly, it's craft compelling headlines. I don't know if you're conversant with the Nigerian news publications, whereby, let's say, for instance, okay, let me use for instance this holiday that just passed. That's the Salah period holiday, and I think afterwards the Benue massacre happened, and then I saw a caption where they wrote, "Government gave another holiday after Salah holiday." So that's actually caught my attention. I was like, what kind of holiday is that we just finished from the Salah holiday? So when I opened the article, I now found out that it was actually Benue government. I don't know if you understand. That does not mean it's fallacy, but you actually coined your heading in a way that someone will want to be like, why is this, let me quickly open it, to make the person to like, let me open this to read. And also learn to use stories and incorporate visual. So starting by knowing your audience, it means, for instance, are you writing for developers who want code details? That's one thing you should know. You should know who you're writing for. Or are you writing for newcomers who are curious about blockchain? For instance, if your readers are beginners, you have to learn how to avoid jargons. You have to learn jargons, means you have to explain it clearly. Instead of using smart contract execute code like automatically, you can say smart contracts are digital agreements that run on their own without needing a middleman. So you just have to find a way to actually explain terms in a clear, like, I think the way I learned in Web3, in this whole blockchain sphere, was asking questions, and I was so blessed to have people around me who actually came down to my level at the time I was coming up to actually say this is how it is favor, this is how it is. If it's like the ball is in the sky, they don't use the ball is in the sky, they tell you so person threw the ball in the sky. Like no matter how elongated the phrase looks like, at least one matters is at the end of the day, the recipient, the learner actually understood the message and communication took place. Please, am I still on this call? I just want to be sure that I'm still on this call. And sorry that I'm so fast because it's already.
Yeah, we can
All
hear
right.
you clearly.
Thank you. So still on the steps in writing articles. I said you should know your audience, research thoroughly. I explained how you should know your audience and research thoroughly. And of course, we know that research is key because you can't make a statement that is not validated, that it has not been backed, that has not been actually was supported with real facts. You must always verify your facts. You can't just come and say what's the word, you can't just say, okay, let me use for instance, we know that web3 is full of the hype. Web3 is like everybody's into Web3, even people that don't know what is Web3, like every that saying Web3 is Web3. But when you ask what you know about Web3 or why are you saying Web3 is this, they can actually support the notion of why they say so statements about Web3. So credibility is what actually promotes accuracy. Like when you say something about Web3, you have to be sure that you have the source from when you're saying that. That's what, and thank God that we have so many young people who are delving into this space now. People make research every day. Different blockchain companies are actually writing their own findings, and which is thank God for technology, which is always available once you have availability to data and you can access this information. For example, let's say you're writing about DeFi lending platform. Sorry, I'm not going to be putting out the words in full anymore because now we are getting accosted to Web3 terms. DeFi means decentralized finance for those maybe that did not hear me earlier. So DeFi lending platform, you can explain how users can borrow crypto by putting up collateral, much like a traditional loan but without banks. So I remember an article I was writing on differ learning platform. So I had to learn how to use the local words when it comes to relating with the common name Nigeria that only know what it's like to go and deposit in the bank and then withdraw. Any other thing you're talking about dollar accounts, you know, in the bank, there are different kind of people that use the bank. People that only just have a Nigerian account and just deposit and withdraw. There are people who has gone far in the banking system by having domiciliary accounts, which is the dollar accounts, the pounds accounts, and they have transactions. So a layman who just have deposit of Nigerian currency and to withdraw will not understand the terms word like Swift code, will not understand the terms word. Sorry, my child is just stopping me. Will not understand the terms word like Swift code. Will not understand the terms word like route number. I think we can relate. So you as a writer now, it is your duty, it's your obligation now. When writing such, I'm just giving the instance of the Nigerian bank, traditional bank. When writing such, that you want to explain how the other domiciliary account transaction works, it's your duty now to break it down, explaining what route number means, what a Swift code means, what are the expectations, because a layman, when you keep saying domiciliary, they won't understand. When you say foreign account numbers, it's better. And when you come down to say foreign account number like dollar, pounds, sterling, that will even be more comprehended. So I don't know if I am making sense on how you can actually simplify complex concept and also make your research very thorough. Then we said craft compelling headlines. I already gave an instance of a news headline I saw 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, how it made me to open the article to read. Also, in addition to that, instead of just putting, let's say for DeFi now, instead of just putting understanding DeFi, how about we can say how DeFi is changing the way we borrow money. Remember, the goal was I was looking at how users can borrow crypto by putting up collateral, which is under the niche of DeFi lending platform, DeFi borrowing platform. So now I want to put a heading instead of just saying understanding DeFi, because you already know DeFi, this is what DeFi does. Decentralized finance does. So instead of me just putting understanding DeFi, okay, understanding DeFi, so what? Like, how is it helping? So for me to catch people, to draw attention, I cannot say how DeFi is changing the way we borrow money. No banks are needed. That will brings curiosity. That will make someone to say, okay, so if I can actually help me borrow money, but I don't need Nigerian bank. And of course, we know the system with Nigerian system, when you borrow a bank with collateral, I don't know if you understand. That's one of the advantage you get with DeFi. Nigerian bank needs to collateral, and of course, if you don't meet up, even with your collateral, you'll be so publicized. The way OP and Pampe is always sharing people's photos up and down now in the country whenever you take a small loan. And finally, storytelling helps. Share a story, like how, and one thing about this article writing is that if you really want to know how to share story, you need to learn how to read. Guys, you will read. I'm serious. Like, it's the one thing doing research and one thing you reading. Research is sometimes for you to just get your fact and figures and then just come up with something. But you also have to read in a way that you can relate stories you've read online into the research and data you're writing, or the article you're writing. So you need to learn how to read. And when you learn how to read, you know that it makes what it makes your work so easy in writing, because sometimes when you're looking for the next word that comes up, it's so hard. And writing is not easy, but when you have stories already, you can just find a way to arrange your stories so that how she said, and you're leaving the readers with one word that keeps them reminded of what they read from your article. I can be a newcomer, and then one word will just keep me like, okay, she said, and DAO founded a community project. That statement you made about DAO will stick to me. If any other thing I don't understand, but this statement you made relating to what happened or how they helped in a community will actually stick with me. Who doesn't write these days without chart or infographics? As you can see on my screen, every slide I've opened, there's always an infographics, there's always a chart. And thank God for Canva that is making work easier. There are already templates for you to assimilate or icons. You can even go to your normal Google to get silhouette designs or icon designs and pick what you think that is in line and tailored to whatever you are writing. So while we are writing Web3 articles, we should always look at these mistakes to avoid. Number one, as I said, overloading with jargons. Instead of you focusing on the benefits, you're just looking at the futures. You don't even understand what you're doing, and then you forget who you are relating to. You forget who you're discussing to, who you're writing to. Is it the newcomers, or are you looking at people that are already advanced, like the web developers? And then you're writing without a clear structure or purpose. So creating an impactful Twitter thread. If you look at your screen, you can see from simplifying complex idea. If you observe, one key term has been consistent from the beginning of my conversation or my presentation, which is simplify complex ideas. Simplify complex ideas. I know why I keep saying this. It helps a long way in you reaching out to people when it comes to understanding what you're writing. Simplify complex. I forget that now we're looking at a technical word whereby if you blow one big grammar, everybody do clap hand. Nah, that's not for me. That's not my take home. Whenever I'm at an event, if I'm at an event, I want to get one lesson, which is somebody was able to understand that there was someone in the audience that did not understand this, that is always a newcomer, and then he or she broke down that thing for me. And that's one thing I'll be like, oh, Favor said this thing, or Favor said this thing this way, and it stick with me forever, and it has stayed with me for like 2 years, and I'm so happy. So when you're writing in an impactful Twitter thread, you have to learn how to simplify complex idea. Of course, you have to build a narrative, and then you drive engagement. So simplifying complex ideas, it's if you want to see examples of this, I will still refer you back to the Miro Twitter handle. You can see the content team, the social media team have been doing greatly in ensuring that whatever aspect of Web3, I think for over 4 months now or 5 months, they have been giving us information back to back, ensuring that whatever you don't know in Web3, across AI, across NFT, across I think they even started from the history of web, why web came about into existence. So whatever you don't know, and you can just get every lessons there, and that so far they've been building engagement. Like I have been seeing interactions, I've been seeing learning taking place, and this is really good. And I think for us here that are part of selected participants for this training, I think you need to pat yourself on the back for you to end the selection. I don't think the selection was just based on bias or based on just what's the word, non-conscious. I think everyone at the selection was intentional about end this position. So I think for you to be here, you're actually intentional about being a better Web3 writer. So back to driving engagement, I'm going to show you how a Twitter thread looks like, what a high performing Twitter thread look like. So as you can see from, if you can see from my cursor, please, am I still audible? Hello,
Yes, you
Yeah, we
can.
can hear you clearly.
hello. All
We
right.
can hear
But
you
before I
clearly.
continue, please, if I am communicating, please someone should, one or two persons should just acknowledge if I've been communicating well, like if I've been passing the message across. I just don't want to be speaking and then no one is assimilating anything.
Yeah, you're trying. You're hearing you.
Hello, I can't hear anyone anymore.
Yeah, we understand what you're
I
saying.
just wanted to confirm because I can't see my screen to see the emojis or something. If I'm communicating, please someone should just tell me I understand. Let me
Yeah, you're.
continue because it will not be.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
understand.
understand. I understand.
Hello.
I
Yeah, we can
understand. We
hear you.
understand.
We understand
You're
what you're
communicating
saying.
well.
Great. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very clear.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for acknowledging. So we you may ask, how do I write a high performing Twitter thread? Your Twitter thread must have
Mom? Talk, sir. Mm.
Hello, we can hear you anyway.
no. Engagement means someone coming to your DM
Awesome.
and saying, please, you said
Governo.
this thing. I would like to have a further discussion with you about this thing, or people giving you
Awesome.
feedback saying that I
Governo.
understood this thing and well done. I would like to see more content from you. So that's engagement. So when you write a high performing Twitter thread, your captivating headlines, your compelling headlines. And what does your hook do? Your hook actually highlights the importance. It makes the topic a teaser and present a bold statement. So an example can be, do you know that you can earn interest on your crypto without selling it? Then you can still go further and say, yes, how DeFi makes it possible.
Awesome.
And in
Governo.
this hook, you're introducing. Hello, somebody else still talking. I think I'm hearing somebody speaking while I'm speaking.
Sock,
Sorry,
sock,
Mohammed.
sock.
Mohammed, please, can you mute yourself?
Just want to
Okay.
be sure. Please, I want to be sure that everyone is here. Can I continue? Please, I need a response. I can't see my screen to see the acknowledgement in the chat box or reaction.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you clearly and everything is well explained.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for the feedback. So,
Yeah.
after you make your hook so capturing,
Yes, please. Yes, please. You can.
number two, the introduction. Yeah, in the introduction, you keep building up your curiosity. You keep building up your curiosity of your readers, explaining why the topic matters and outlining what the thread will cover. If you see some threads, you will see them write like follow this thread below, read this thread below to understand this. Or a thread on so 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 and so so. Sometimes when I see a thread of so so and so so, I'm not really motivated to continue. But when I see a capturing statement and then say follow this thread below to understand why, then I want to see what follows from that. Then number three is the body. Here you are breaking your points into small small bits, and each of your tweets, which is your caption, okay, this is how you're supposed to earn your interest on crypto without selling it. Let's say first have an account that's an e-wallet account. Let's say for instance, let's say the near wallet account, and then you're not giving actionable tip like go to near.gov or go to near wallet.org, something like that. So whatever you are giving, you're writing a statement and you want people to actually proceed with that statement, you have to actually give a tip on how to go about it. I don't know if this makes sense. And number four, it's your conclusion. The conclusion is you making recap of the key takeaways and inspiring actions. And of course, the fifth will be call to actions, where you encourage people to retweet, to follow, to reply, or maybe say if you have a question, kindly drop in the comment section so that you can drive engagement and growth. So to drive engagements, you can be an example like a thread explaining NFT might include images. Yes, I've seen some thread that actually has images of popular NFT arts to illustrate that point. So sometimes when writing a thread, and depending on your topic, try to get relevant designs, relevant pictures that actually will make your thread beautiful. Some of us are not blessed with sorry, excuse me. Some of us are not blessed with designing our own designs just to make our thread, but I believe all of us is blessed with the concept of how we want our pictures to look. So that's why I'm urging us to get used to Canva already has already templates for you. Just keep playing with it. You might not be perfect in at the first instances, at the first times, or the few early days of you engaging with the app, but I believe you, as time goes on, you'll be able to be a master at what you do if you are consistent and if you are intentional about growing. And one thing I need you guys to know is if you are using the sections as the introduction, the hook, the body, the conclusion, blah 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 blah, please let's also find a way to impute data data is, I keep saying research early, data is actually mind blowing. Put data, which is a game changer. If you want to be continuous in your writing, is a game changer. And always cite. Another beautiful thing I learned from Dami was if you're making a thread post, right, learn to tag the sources if they're on that Twitter, if they're on X, like tag them, because that's another way you're driving engagement. He will always tell you that you okay, you said at so and so, but you did not tag these people. You did not tag who they are. You did not tag Solana. You did not tag TNS. You did not tag, like, I'm trying to remember the names that I know I've written, the articles I've written in the past, and then have tagged. He will tell you go back, delete the tweet. He even tell you delete the tweet. No matter he's not even after the engagement when it comes to likes. What is after is the fact that we get visible. Visibility does not mean you get likes. It's a matter of people who read, and also engagement now comes with the understanding made by the further questions asked and the positive comments given. So we need to learn how to sorry, we need to learn how to be consistent in being visible in that, and of course being intentional in tagging the relevant people, because if you're mentioning, let's say you're mentioning Elon Musk in a thread, of course you have to tag Elon Musk on Twitter. He's the owner of Twitter now, so you have to tag him. So this is one thing I will give you as a tip when making your thread looking the structured as a high performing writing. So please always learn to cite to sources and stay objective. Some of us when we write, we are always like subjective. Me, I don't think when I mean subjective, in the sense that you're like you have a party you belong to, you feel like this is wrong, this company is this. No, no, no. You are giving information out there based on your newscaster, based on, you see, if you see the way journalists work, journalists are non-partisans. They don't say PDC, they don't say APC. They just give the information, and then they give an actionable call to action, which at the end of the day, follow us to learn more. If you read most of Miro's article, you always see at the end of the article on the Medium page, follow us at Telegram link is in circuit, follow us at Twitter to learn more on LinkedIn. So it's more like you just being objective in your writing. And as a writer, some of us are new into the game, while some of us are OGs. So you need to learn how to build a portfolio, showcasing your best work. Sometimes you do this by engaging actively or commenting during virtual events. Like instances like this, you can keep your comments in the chat board just to encourage the speaker, and also giving instances of how you can relate to some statements they have made, using your own work to give that instances. Let's say, for instance, I made something about simplifying complex work, of how I learned something from an occasion, from a hackathon. And then you can also go under the chat box and just say, yes, I can relate to this, so time, so year, why doing so thing. Like, it shows that people will start seeing you, because this is a portfolio you're showcasing. You can't wait for people to notice you. You have to actually bring yourself out there. You can also initiate collaborations and even keep attending virtual events. And you know, one thing about opportunities is so broad, whether it's in content creation, whether it's in community management, technical writing. If you have your uniqueness in the things you do, honestly, your doors will open. I don't believe there's closed door. If you're good, if you're consistent, if you know how to network, because as I'm speaking to you right now, I expect some persons to actually keep if they have had similar experience, maybe troubles in understanding some technical words, or maybe they have been doing the opposite of what I've been saying before and explain to people. Maybe people have not been giving them feedbacks in the right way. I expected some people to just comment in the chat button and then say, yes, true favor. I totally understand to this. This has also happened to me one time, and I think I have learned something like that. So that's a way that you keep being in my radar. So when next I'm in an event and I see you comment again or ask a question, I'll be like, oh, you've asked this kind of thing some other time. And then before you know, there's a room for doors, there's a room for collaboration, there's a room for future possible, whether physical or virtual engagements. And one thing we should learn is that, sorry, let me go to my next slide, is that when you're writing Web3 research, because I'm just repeating the same words, of course, you must have a technical knowledge. I keep saying, for you to write, you must learn how to read. You must be an analytical rigor, like using data, case studies, real world. I think I've explained this. This is just Turanchi. This is just English. Sorry, I'm using Turanchi. Turanchi is the house of word. This is just English in reputation. You must engage with community for qualitative data and emerging threads. Thank God the Telegram group is always on fire, back to back, thanks to the community moderators who are making that group active. And you must, of course, have a clear structure of how you want your thread to go. So, in conclusion, I'm going to say writing for Web3 is just about making complex ideas simple, honestly. Like, if there's one word you go home with today, just know that I said writing for Web3 is just making complex ideas very simple. And that is all about making decentralized future accessible and engaging. If you can break down complex ideas in Web3 blockchain, honestly, you're contributing to the growth, the adoption of Web3. At the same time, you're also building your expertise, you're also building your reputation. So, in all, I will tell you one thing this evening is that your words, your write-ups, because some persons might not actually hear based on that, because now I'm a person, a fan of inclusion when it comes to people with disabilities. So I feel like why some can hear, some can actually not read, or why some can read. Thank God for AIs now that can actually transcribe some words into audible output. So you need to learn to know that both your words, your, because as a writer, I won't say you only end at writing, because when you're writing so well, it gives you room to also be a speaker. So while your words, your your write-ups are actually helping people around you, one thing you should know is that you're also helping to shape the future of how the internet will look tomorrow. Yes, whatever we put out there, it's part of the net. Don't think that you're not significant. Even this, if this now, even the post that was made today by Miro is part of the net. We are contributing to the future of the net. So that's why whatever we put out there must contribute to learning, to someone who is interested in learning what we are putting out there. So now I would love to hear from you. Before I would love to hear from you. This is my Gmail in case you have further questions and inquiries. Sorry that I had to be fast because time was fast spent. I'm trying to beat up before the next 1 hour, which I'm lucky to do so. So while we still have 4 minutes to 9 o'clock, I would love to hear from you. Um, What's interesting topic in Web3 are you excited to write about? Because that you need to know your niche. Remember, I said you need to know your niche. Of course, this slide will be shared through the organizers to be designated to you, so that you can have it at your convenience and prepare for further actions. So please drop the topics you are excited to write about so that we can see how um, I think this can be like an assignment. I don't know if I don't know how the team wants to do the assignment, but I think it can you can start with writing the topic that you want to talk about and then create a hook on that topic based on what I've taught you, how to make it compelling, how to make your research, use stories, use facts. I think that's all.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Favor, for that amazing session. It was really, really educative. Sorry, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes, and Samuels. Is this Samuel? Who is speaking, please? Okay, Michael. Yes, yes, Michael.
Okay, although yeah. Honestly, it was really a wonderful session, and we really appreciate the for everything. And what we are going to do is I don't know. I'm having a bit of network issue. Sorry about that. So what we are going to do is we are going to take just two questions. Two questions. Mrs. Favor is going to answer two questions. If you know you have a question, kindly raise your hand. If you know you have a question, kindly raise your hand. Why we take two? Just two. Okay. 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 All right. All right. I was thinking because of our time, but if you know you have a question, kindly raise your hand. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir. So please, if you have a question, kindly raise your hand. Okay, I can see Olakunle Grace. Are you there? Olakunle Grace, kindly unmute the mic. Kindly unmute your mic. Okay. She says she does not have a question. Then we'll move to Michael Chukudi. Michael Chukudi, do you have a question? Please,
Yes,
if you have a question,
are you
kindly
hearing
unmute your mic.
are you hearing
Okay, yeah, I can. We can hear you. We can hear you.
me? You say be a different hour.
Sorry,
Say
Michael,
what
please,
you
can you be audible? We can't hear you clearly. Um,
okay. Um say for we to be a good player, I have to find a do like more for
okay, Michael, please, can you type your question in the chat? That's in the comment section because we are finding it difficult to hear you. We'll quickly I think Tolu Ashe somewhere. Please, if you are there, kindly ask your question. Tolu Ashe somewhere.
All right, I think I've seen a question, Michael. I've seen a question
All
from
Good
right, all
evening.
right.
My
Toluwa
phone's in the chat
Samuel.
already.
I've seen it. I've seen that, Samuel. Thanks for asking. So he said, "Good evening, Miss Favor. I would like to ask that the okay. I would like to ask Mikey. I think you need to see. You need to use comma so that I'll be able to know when to break in. That's at Toluwase, please, for next time. So I would like to ask that are there websites that help with research in order to write a compelling thread? So now this is how it works. Remember I told you that you need to know your niche. So I would like you, Samuel, to unmute yourself because we'll be having a conversation. I want to know the extent of learning that has been made today. So please kindly do me a favor by unmuting yourself because I'll be having this conversation with while others listen. So if you do you remember me saying that you have to have a niche? I mentioned like three
Yeah.
niches. I gave example of three niches. So can you just name them?
Sorry,
Sorry, is that
please.
no problem. I understand. I also have a child as well.
Okay. Yeah, I was in and out of the section, but I could remember when you said there are three niches talking
I
about
didn't
the
say that three niches.
NFTs.
I know I gave example of three niches, but I didn't say there
Yeah,
are
you
many
talked
niches.
about
Yeah.
the NFTs, DeFi,
Uh-huh.
and I can't recall the third one, but
All right.
you talked about the
All right. So now let's say for instance you're going for the NFTs. You just go
okay,
to your Google or
okay,
your Google Chrome, research on NFTs, and
all right,
if pop-up of many research on NFT, then if you're on, I think everyone here should have a Medium account. Everyone here should have a Medium account because most crypto articles are actually being published. Like every crypto company do have a Medium account where they give insights, even give links to their white papers for you to get more information on what they do. So these are the websites you can go to. You can also go to personal websites of some companies who are it's like the Mirror now. The Miro, I think we're currently working on having a website. I don't know if that has been finalized. Dami can actually confirm this later. But I'm very sure that whatever information you need on any topic when it comes to Web3, the Miro will help you. And then to also refer you, because at every of our articles, we do have they do have references which will take you to other websites. So the internet is so broad that there's nothing you will not look for that you can't see. So there's no structured way to actually get a website to write a compelling thread. I don't know if that answers your question. You just have to be flexible,
yeah,
Samuel.
yeah,
All
I
right.
understand. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So the next person said, Michael Chukudi said, is it a must to find a particular niche? Okay, I think this can be for newcomers. I don't know. We have different humans in terms of diverse, in terms of capacity when it comes to being flexible. Like me, I'm a multitasker. I can actually be doing many things at many time, but at some point, you're all humans will break down. So now, if you are not actually a pro, when I mean a pro, you're not actually well grounded in being a writer, and you just want to stick to one thing, I think I would advise you to actually just have a niche where you're very good at, where you know you've understood very well. You know, one thing about writing, I'll repeat again, writing is all about reading. So if you know that you can grasp this topic very well, this particular topic, and you know you can always wake up anytime and they ask you questions, you can engage in conversation and discussions on community groups and discuss about this topic. At least it's better for you to be jack of one trade, it's better for you to be a jack of a trade and master of that one than being jack of all trade and master of none. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But if you're a pro, someone like the founder, the co-founder, Dami, and you want to actually be everywhere, because I believe for him to actually know most of the things he knew, he never stopped researching, he never stopped reading, he never stopped like asking questions. So if you've not reached to that extent of doing that, I think it's advisable that you can actually pick a niche. I don't know if that answer your question, Michael Chukudi. All right, so thanks for the insights. You're welcome. Lazarus Ide says, thank you so very much, Mrs. Favor, for your time tonight. Well, I would love to write on tokenomics. I think the organizers should take note of this based on the assignments given. Where I think I give an assignment. I don't know how its submission will be made or who they'll be submitting to. So each person should come up with a niche that they want to write, a thread, something they want to write about. Let's say for tokenomics, you have to just use the way I taught you, how to use a compelling hook, how to have introduction, body, how to also have a call to action, and just the rest of what I've taught you earlier this evening. So I don't know if that is all, Mike Yatosi, because I'm no longer seeing some questions from the chat box.
Okay. Yeah, I think Mohammed is raising up his hand. Mohammed, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good
please,
evening,
do you have a
everyone. Thank
question?
you.
If you do,
Yes, I
okay.
have a question. Thank you very much, Miss Favor, for the class.